Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Colin, of course, and I'm joined by the lovely Queen Ellie Bergval. Ellie, how are you doing today?
All right, I've adopted a new name, as everybody can see. Hoiby has flown the coots in Marseille to sunnier climates. So I'm going with Bergval because I think he's fabulous.
He's already shown so much. Yeah, he's gonna be a star. Absolutely.
Yeah. We had one Lucas, didn't we? Lucas Moore. Now we've got Lucas Bergval.
And we got a green kid again. Hopefully we can make it, you know, to a final in this one too. And then of course we got AJ. AJ, it seems like I got you stuck here with me now. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, man, I'm all good. Pleasure to be here as always. Great company, and I clap because I'm happy.
Yes. I got to get that shirt made up still. I haven't done it yet. Sorry about that, you guys. Yes. Hey, and I don't mind being called it. It's all good. I think it's going to be a really good show, everybody. Let me get some tunes on so we're not just sitting here in the quiet. You know me. I like my background music.
I'd like to share this with you if you can see it. It says, can you see
Queen?
It?
I could for a second. It says, does it say Queen on it?
What did I disappear? Yeah, it says the Queen of absolutely everything.
Hell yeah. We've got the Queen of absolutely everything on the show with us today.
I think that was funny. It was my daughters. They did it as a joke.
Wonderful. Well, you can't beat that. And we've got somebody else in the back. And I'm going to bring him in. Woo! Look who it is, everybody. Jose's here.
He wasn't joining us, but he's here.
Yeah. Last minute, he was fit. The physios cleared him at the last second. Oh, you're muted, bub.
I've got 25 minutes before I go out.
Hey, lovely. I'm glad to have you for any amount of time.
I like the title. And because I like the title, I thought I'd pop on for 25 minutes.
You're good.
AJ knows where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and you guys, we've got a bunch of wonderful people in the chat. Look at this. Ben Kaufman's here. Big up Ben. Talked to Ben earlier today. We've got Quez. Quez is here. Hi, Quez. Ryan G. Can't get enough Ryan G in my life. Mark Cousins. Big up Mark. Mark.
Sheriff.
Yes, sir. Look at this. Peter, guys. Peter, hello from Melbourne. Good to have you.
Morning, Pete.
And then we've got Talk Spurs. Jamie's here. Big up, Jamie.
Jamie.
Big up, Jamie. I'll send you the link in a second in case you want to pop on, Jamie. And then we've got Shamtan in the house.
Yay.
And so we're already joined by a lovely crew of people, and we've just barely gotten started.
Ellie and I were speaking about Shemtam yesterday off air in a phone call. We said how we've missed Shemtam lately. We both said it yesterday in the phone call.
We missed you.
Do you believe them? I think they're making it up. Shemtan. No, I'm just kidding.
My brother loves the way he calls me, Ellie Benticor. The whole team.
I like how he calls me junior assistant. I've taken to it, and that's just me now. Audio artisans in the house. We got Graham in the house.
Afternoon audio, afternoon Graham.
Yeah, big up, guys. This is a good one. So guys,
Daniel Coyce, look. Daniel Coyce, look.
What do you say? What do you say?
Look.
Wow, that's all I can say today. Yeah, and so I'll just put this up here. First of all, welcome in everybody, as always. Welcome in. Thank you to all members and subscribers. Couldn't do it without y'all. But yeah, so I'll just throw the first question out there, especially because Jose's short on time. Is the bad transfer window the reason why the Tottenham community is on fire? It seems like everything is kind of caught fire and is burning down. And am I being a little bit am I being a little bit overreactive about that? Yeah, but things are everybody's at each other's throats. And do you think it's the fact that we haven't made more signings? Do you guys think that's the main reason for it? And I'll start with Jose since we've got him for the least amount of time.
I can't answer the question for you because I really don't know what people's minds think. And I can't answer the question for you. I really can't, because at the end of the day, right, players like I don't know, let's put Neto and Chiesa together, right? You've got two players there that have got awful injury records for the last 2 or 3 years, right? And because clubs have taken a punt on them, right, it doesn't mean that they're bad players because other clubs have taken a punt on them. The only thing that we've done is that we haven't taken a punt on them, another club has. You know, and at the end of the day, when the other clubs have taken a punt on them, they've taken a punt on them on the proviso. They've obviously passed their medicals, because you won't pay out money unless you pass your medicals, you won't get insured. So they must have passed their medicals in order to join the clubs that they've joined. But then it remains to be seen, and I did say this on previous shows, I don't wish anyone any illnesses whatsoever. So I really do hope that these players stay free of injury. But their record in the last few seasons says otherwise. And then all of a sudden, people are saying, but they're better than what we've got. But so the argument then is that you say the players are not Premiership proven. So we've bought in Odegaard, who played in the Premiership last season. So that means he has Premiership stats. That means he's Premiership proven. And then you've got players like Chiesa, who's not played in the Premiership as yet, but we're not allowed to talk about Premiership stats. We're not allowed to talk about Premiership proven. So you can't win for toffee in this, I tell you. You know, at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going on. People, I've heard people say, yeah, but if Paratici gets involved, we would have talked to Chiesa and that. People need to understand, from everything that's coming out of Tottenham at the moment, they said that that Paratici has not been involved in any of the main meetings about the transfers. So Paratici, because I wondered how Paratici would work with Langer when Langer was brought in. And I was hoping that they'd all gel. But I did say, when we first brought Langer in, what will happen to Paratici? Because Paratici is not an employee of the club. He's a contractor to the club, where Langer will be an employee. And it's obvious that Langer and his team have now taken over that side of it. And Paratici is probably doing other things now for Tottenham, but not transfers. So
he's still cooking, but now he's just cooking books. Right?
He's doing something else. He's probably just not doing transfers. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. And yeah, it's exciting to I think it's brilliant. I'd like to lob grenades. I think it's excellent. But at the end of the day, I've seen the meltdown on Shitter as well of people going absolutely mad, and I'm just thinking to myself, at the end of the day, people's arguments are Premiership proven, and now you buy in players and you say, well, if that's the case, then the players we've got are Premiership proven. They're not, but ours are. So there's stats to back it up. Doesn't matter where they've played. Put it this way: in one of my comments in one of the groups, I've said, hell, Gray and Bergvall have both got Premiership stats now because they played. They've come on for as substitutes. They've played some minutes. So now they've got stats as well. So, yeah, at the end of the day, listen, to be honest, hand on heart, I would turn around and say that for me, players that we've got rid of, at the moment, I'd say it's a 9 out of 10 for me, to be honest, with the transfer dealings of getting rid of players from the club. if Lo Celso and Reguilon are two players that Tottenham are actively seeking to get rid of, and we don't know that they are, by the way, right? But if they are, and they get rid of them two players, then the outgoings will be a 10 out of 10. But with them two players still at the club, I'm going to say 9 out of 5. The incomings, yeah, we've bought 4 players. I would have liked more, and I've gone on record to say that I would have liked more. Yeah. But, I can only judge, and I said I would judge once the transfer window closed on Friday. I'd still want, if it was down to me, I still want 2 or 3 more in. But we'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. And I'll jump to you guys, too. I want to ask kind of everybody the same question. Ellie, is it the lack of transfers you think that's got everybody so hot and angry? Or is it just part and parcel to being a football fan? There's going to be disagreements.
That as well. But I think it's because we haven't signed a player that can go straight into the first 11 or challenge. Because the youngsters they'll challenge in a way because they want to use them because they're young and eager to play. I mean, we saw with Odebert how exciting he was to watch, but he's young. He's 19. He's got Premiership stats because he played for Burnley. So I just think people feel upset that we didn't sign any major stars, But the boys that we've signed, what I've seen of them, they're really, really good. I don't care about what Jose said, right? All the clubs are signing youngsters. So
whoa.
Different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
True. He does. But the thing is, he's the only one. But is he a statement signing? I don't know. We will wait and see because he's had one good season and 3 or 4 average seasons.
Same can be said about Chiesa, though. I know you're not claiming for Chiesa, but he's the same kind of a thing. And like I said, I'm not aiming that at you.
Yeah.
Just kind of at the air.
I can understand why people are upset because he's gone to Liverpool and he was supposed to be coming to London. That was the thing that he was coming to London.
Oh, see, I didn't even hear that. I didn't even hear that was part of the deal. I hadn't even heard.
I heard that he was coming to London, but whether that was true, that's another thing we don't know, do we? Unless we see him with our own eyes, then we can confirm it. All right, but what I think we could have done is maybe got Eze over the line. Would have been lovely to get Eze. Now he's playing for Crystal Palace, and no one's come in for him. No other clubs come in for him. So it was a bit of a weird one, that was. I mean, maybe other clubs were vying for his signature, like with us, but we didn't get it over the line, and it's a bit upsetting because we know if 1 or 2 of our players go down, we're going to be weakened. So I think we do need to get a couple more. I think 2 or 3 more. It'd be lovely to get them over the line, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think we'll get 1, and then we'll wait till January like we normally do. But the boys we've signed are really good. I like them.
They really are, and I feel like, people are quick to. I don't know. I feel like no matter what would have happened, some people would be upset, and that's okay. You're allowed to be upset. But yeah, I definitely think this transfer window is part of what's gotten everybody so at each other's throats. AJ, do you see it that way?
Can I have a little bit of a rant / not really a rant?
Please do. You know we love those around here. Absolutely.
Go on, AJ.
I kind of understand what people are saying when they're annoyed at our lack of transfer activity. Then we haven't bought in. I would have liked to have seen us bring in at least two players that are ready to go into that first team and challenge our first team players and improve the squad there and then, right?
Yeah.
We haven't done that, so I get that. I do understand that. I don't think it's been a shit window. It's not been a great window, but it's not been shit. We've got rid of a lot of deadwood that were taking up places and wages. We've got rid of a lot of them. We've brought in young, talented players, very talented players by all accounts. We've seen them and they've been impressive. Dominic Solanke impressed last season, and his stats, his attributes are perfect for the system we play, right? So let's hope, we can only hope at the moment. You know, he played one game, he looked sharp. It didn't fall for him, but he got injured. Let's hope when he's back against Newcastle, that he starts scoring and we have another 20-goal season from him like he did last season. But the absolute meltdown that some people, not all, that some people are having over the fact that we're not signing injury-prone players when the same people were screaming and shouting, what is wrong with our backroom staff? What's wrong with our medical staff? Why are our players always injured? We'll never compete if we've got injury players. Ryan Sessegnon, get rid of him. He's gone. Like, why are these players taking up spots? And now we've got the same people screaming that we didn't sign Neto for 60 million quid. Yes, Chiesa is good value. He's worth a punt at 10 million. But this is something I have an issue with. People have stated, and one person particularly, there was a comment, and I've had a little bit of a disagreement on Twitter with people about this. One person in particular told me that Chiesa walks into our team and is better. A half-fit Chiesa is better than any winger we have. And that was the exact words. A half-fit Chiesa is better than any winger we have. It just so happens that Son Heung-min plays on the left for Tottenham Hotspur, and the fully fit Chiesa isn't better than Son. Even now, if you take Chiesa in his prime and Son in his prime, there's only one player that's playing for us. Let me tell you some stats that I collated to disprove that wild harebrained theory, right? I'm not a stat merchant. I'm an eye merchant, right? I like to look and I like to see and I judge on what. Then I'll go to the stats and see if they back up what I've seen. And these stats don't back up that statement, that wild statement. I'll tell you for why. Chiesa has played 284 league games, yeah? For not necessarily league games, but club league games, right? So that could be domestic competition. So he's played 284 games. He scored 66 goals and he has assisted 49 times. That's 115 goal contributions. Johnson, who remember this is important. We've all said that Johnson's been poor. Yeah, we will all agree collectively Johnson's not been good enough. And there are fans that say he's a disgrace. He should never play for Spurs. He's the worst signing ever to play for us. In Johnson's career, he's played 194 times, scored 47 goals. He's assisted 36 times. That's an 83 goal assist contribution, yeah? Werner, 420 games, 152 goals, 78 assists, 230 goals and assists. So these are the ratios, yeah? Chiesa scores or assists every 2.5 games. Johnson, who's worse than Chiesa, remember, Chiesa is better than Son, miles better, world-class, some say, and would walk into our team. Johnson contributes every 2.3 games, and Werner contributes every 1.83 games. So, the definitive statement made that Chiesa instantly improves our team, injury prone, has had one good season, 2 decent seasons, and the rest season also ran. That statement that he improves us is just, for me, somebody being snobbish over the fact that he's a name. He's an Italian. Let's get an Italian in who's never played in the Premier League, the most combative league in the world. Let's put an injury-prone player in a league he's never played before, who's going to get clouted left, right, and centre, and see how he fares. We want to improve our squad. What is the point in paying money for a player that's going to come in and miss 6 months, and then you're back to using the players that are worse than the player you just brought in? It's absolutely redundant to me. It makes no sense. So those were the stats I collected. I haven't done anything amazing there. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a brain surgeon. These stats are there to go and find yourself. If you want to find them, if you want to think I'm making it up, go and disprove me. They're there. They're readily available. All you've got to do is look. So before making harebrained cockamamie out of just pure insanity statements, actually think about what you're saying.
Absolutely. And also, even though you say you're not a brain surgeon, I'd let you do brain surgery on me. You seem like a pretty smart chap. So hey, you got that.
Flattery will get you absolutely everywhere.
And hey, I know what I'm doing. But yeah, maybe we both are. My wife's not home right now, so she left. So,
We're going there.
just saying. But no, great points, and I think that, like you said, it's new names. And the foreign names are exciting. I get that, especially when there's a bit of an unknown to them. From the grapevine that they're a pretty good player, but you've never seen them. You're excited about what you might see. I get that 100%. We've got a graciously given super chat from Adrian Chia, so I wanted to answer his question, and it's a good one. It says, which top 4 club have had a great window, have had a great transfer window this season? And I think that's a lovely question. I mean, you could argue some teams have gotten in more players than us. I don't know. Ellie, do you think any of the top 4 teams have had a great transfer window? And if so, who do you think? Who would you say has had a good one?
Nobody really stands out. They all have much of the muchness. No, nothing's like coming at me thinking, bloody hell, they've signed some really good players. Nothing that's worrying me anyway. So no.
Can I just quickly? I don't like interrupting. I'm so sorry, but I've just seen a comment from Ben. This is why I respect Ben. And appreciate a lot of what he has to say. We don't agree on everything, but his comment there, he wanted Chiesa, but he's not gonna flip out about not signing him. He understands there are other priorities. Like that's common sense. That's not overreacting to the situation. I've got a lot of respect for Ben.
Oh yeah, Ben's a good man.
Sorry to interrupt.
Right. Do you know what you mentioned about stats, AJ, right? So Dembele, he hasn't got fabulous stats, goal contributions, but he was a fabulous player. So,
yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, Chiasa's one of those players, but he hasn't played in the Premiership, and he's more injury prone than Dembele would be.
Exactly.
So, like Liverpool taking a punt at 13 million, they probably think that's a good deal because it's not a lot of money. Plus, if he does get injured, he gets injured. They've got a plethora of midfielders and people that can come in from their youth team.
Yeah, but Ellie, but the thing is though, right? I know what you're saying, but the 13 million is by the side. If he's injured, these 300 grand plus wages still have to be met.
Yeah, that is another problem. Yeah, so
and the player has to want to come to Spurs. People forget that too. Like they act like just because a player is available that we can just go and get them, but they have to want to come and play here. And we all love Tottenham, but does everybody in the whole world?
No.
Right. And so yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Els.
No, you're not cutting me off. They don't love Tottenham until they come to our club and they establish themselves, and the fans warm to them. And they feel part of the family. Yeah, so we've been guilty of holding on to too many players and giving them too much of a lifeline. And now we're getting rid of the deadwood, like AJ said. That's very important to get rid of those ones off the wage bill so we can afford to bring in a top star. Maybe we will. You don't know, because our club are very secretive and we've always got one up the sleeve. So hopefully we've got that killer signing like we did when Van der Vaart came, and he changed the whole complex of our midfield. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to do. I just hope it doesn't fall flat, because I know what the antagonists are going to do. They're going to come out with all guns blazing, aren't they? Oh.
But if that happens, I do understand. If we end this window without signing anybody else, let's say anybody notable, yes, Solanke goes straight into the first team, I get that. But if we don't sign another quality player that improves the squad instantly, I do understand fans being pissed off with it. I get it. Because we're always almost there, aren't we? We do enough to get to the point where you think, okay, we could have a really good season if we just bought another player, if we just strengthened in this position. We're an almost club. We get to the point where we're right on the edge, and then that's it. We don't go any further.
My brother.
Absolutely.
Because we got the Champions League final with a fabulous team, but there wasn't much after that, was there? To call it. Yeah. So we need to strengthen the squad. I think we need 3, AJ. But if we get one signature signing, I will be happy with that. If we get one more signature signing.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, 2 or 3 players coming in to strengthen this team, yes, absolutely. But realistically, it's Tottenham Hotspur. We know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So a bunch of other people have come in. I just want to say, hey, Adrian, Jishnu's here. Chris Lonnie's here. Who else? Destiny 5, Graham. I've already said hey to you guys. We've got Edward, YFOS. What's up, my guy? Terry Wright. Good to see you, Terry. Eamon, what's up? Good to have you here as well. Hey, man, Kingsley Coman would be a great player. Yeah, absolutely. Ryan G loves Tottenham. He does. We're turning him into the dark side, over to the dark side. Yeah, absolutely. Just saying, what was that Brighton summer transfer? They got Vifer and I don't know these guys at all. Key players for slot at Feyenoord, Celtics, best player Riley, upcoming talent Skruda, Rudder, and Osman. Total 240 million. That's a good transfer window.
You know, Brighton down now at the seaside, haven't they?
But Riley yesterday got injured, taken out after 6 minutes, came off after 9 minutes, and they don't know how long he's going to be out for.
Oh dear.
That was his first game last night. And like I said, another player, I don't wish illness on any player and injuries because injuries set players back, man, mentally, physically. Yeah. So I don't wish any injuries on any player, but he played last night, first game. He made, in front of the Brighton fans. And after 6 minutes, he was taken out. It was a naughty tackle. The guy didn't even get a yellow card for it. It was a naughty tackle.
I hate that. Naughty tackle. Makes me upset. Yeah. Bummer stuff. So yeah. And real quick, Jose, do you think any of the top 4 clubs have had a wonderful transfer window?
All I've got to say, right, is I'm going to say 3 points and then I've got to shoot. Right. So for me, I'll start off with the really negative one, and that will be it would not surprise me if Tottenham did not make another signing between now and the end of the transfer window.
I can see it.
For me, if you're waiting for last-minute deals like we got Van der Vaart, because he appeared in the last 2 hours of the window, then, to me, it means that the targets that you were going for either weren't obtainable, didn't want to come to you, or somewhere in between, something's happened in the negotiations which turned you off the player or turned the player off the club. So we've brought in the players that want to be at Tottenham. The players that want to be at Tottenham, as Postecoglou said this from day one we walked through the door. When I speak to the players and stuff like that, they got to want to come for the right reasons. They want to come to play for Tottenham, want to come for the badge, not for the paycheck. So for me, in that sense, I'm really happy that that's the business that we're doing. We want to get players in that want to play for the club. But I would not be surprised. I don't want to hit anyone with alarm bells, but I would not be surprised if we didn't sign anyone between now and the end of the window. Right, looking at other teams, I'm going to ask the question to people. How did Jeremy Doku do last season? So they paid nearly 50 million or whatever it is for Jeremy Doku last season. He didn't pull up trees. He didn't light fires, nothing at all. In fact, he was quite poor last season. And it was only masked because Man City won the league. But this season, we'll see what Doku's about, because it was his first season last season, and everyone seems to forget about Doku, that he had a bad season. Let's see how he gets on this year. Man City have Man City signed anyone?
They got
Gundogan back on a free. He's only been away a year, so he's going to know the system still and that. So he probably is a very good signing for them, seeing that they lost Alvarez. So he probably is a good signing for them. Arsenal signed Calafiori, and I think they might have signed Marino today. So Calafiori looked really good for Italy in the Euros, in the games that he played before he was injured. Can he do it in the Premiership? If he can, then he's going to be a good signing. Mikel Merino has fouled in the Premiership for Newcastle, but Mikel Merino, Zubamendi was ahead of Mikel Merino. Ruiz was ahead of him. Rodri's ahead of him and stuff like that. But he's a good player within his own right. If he can play, then it might be that Arsenal have got a good signing. you have to play for players, and it doesn't matter. I think Dan Coy said this. It doesn't matter whether you're playing 10 million or 90 million for a player. The player doesn't know about his price tag. The player is the player. Price money doesn't count. The player is the player, and it's whether the player can adapt and hit the ground running or not. Liverpool finished third. They've signed a goalkeeper that's coming next season, and that's confirmed that Mambiashvili's coming next season, and that's it. They've signed nobody else at the moment. Liverpool, just the goalkeeper. All this Chiesa talk is talk. They haven't signed Chiesa yet. So, at the end of the day, if you look at it, I mean, I've talked about 3 clubs that finished above us. And you got Villa, and Dan Coys will know this, right? I've talked about Villa, saying I don't think that their business. People saying, but they've done brilliant this window, and I said I don't think they have. I think I talked to Ellie about this as well.
Yeah, you did.
I said I don't think they have. I think losing the 2 players that they lost, they've padded out the squad because of Europe, but I don't think they've improved the players. So who replaces Luis and who replaces Diaby? Anyway, the 2 players they bought from Juventus in the swap deal for Luis, Baranchea and Iling Jr. have both been loaned out.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
So
I wasn't aware.
It proves the point that I said a while ago. I didn't think they'd done good business, and they finished above Tottenham last season, and I still don't think they've done good business. So at the end of the day, the market's been really, really quiet for me, in the sense that you haven't. We're going to get nowhere near the amount of money for transfers now that we've had in previous seasons. We're going to get nowhere near it. Breaking the billion barrier and all that, we're getting nowhere near it. Nowhere near it at all. I'd hazard a guess that we might struggle to get to 500 million this season. But what I've noticed is that 80% of the signings, 80% of the signings that have been made in the Premiership are players under the age of 25. And that's for all clubs that have been signing players. And I think that there's been a shift change in transfers. And what we got this season, I think you might find a lot of clubs might have this going forward in the future. I don't think Brighton are going to go out and spend 200 million next season. I think this is their season to do it. I don't think Man United are going to spend the money they spent. I think I spoke to Ellie about this already offline. Yeah. Man United, for me, have got bigger problems than just their team. And I think that they've put in all their eggs in one basket to bring these players in, to hope that these players do well for them.
Get them Champions League.
Well, to do whatever, because Man United need to spend a hell of a lot of money to revamp their stadium because it's falling to bits, and their training centre is abysmal. When you look at Manchester United, a big global market leader, which they are, let's not kid ourselves, Man United are one of the biggest brands in the world in football, and the fact that players say that their training facilities are absolutely awful. So I've got a feeling that they're last chance saloon. They're throwing this money now, hoping that everything comes good, and it may come good. I don't know, but I think they've rolled the dice that this happens, and then next season it will all be about building up their. They've
still won 2 cups though, Jose.
Sorry.
They've still won 2 cups, and our training facilities are out of this world, and we didn't win nothing.
Yeah, but my question I was asked is, what do I think of the transfer window? I wasn't asked about who's winning cups and that.
I'm just making the points and stir the pot.
Anyway.
Eamon's out of here. Says boring goodbye.
Don't go. The other thing I'll say for Amin, because I saw another comment he's made, and this is my last comment before I shoot, is today there's been a training video released by Tottenham, and I'm presuming it's today's training, or it's either yesterday's or today's, but I'm thinking it's today's training. And the people that weren't seen in the training video were Solanke, Van der Ven, and I can't remember who the third player was now that wasn't seen. But Van der Ven took that knock on Saturday, didn't he?
He did, and I was surprised he didn't come off right away. So
but he wasn't. He hasn't been seen. He hasn't been seen in training. If the video is today's, he's not been seen in training, and neither is Solanke. People, I'm going to love you and leave you. Enjoy the show.
Hey, definitely make sure you check back on it later, Jose, if you can.
I will.
Give it a watch. All right. Hey, thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate you.
Big up, Jose. Big up, Jose. Always a pleasure.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. And keep smashing the likes in the chat for the show.
Come on, guys.
Amin, come back. Don't unsubscribe. Come back, you nutter. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. No worries. And hey, he's asking who's going to cover for VDV. It makes a lot of sense that it would be Dragishin, the center back that we brought in to cover for.
Yeah, I don't think we're screwed. I don't think we're screwed if VDV goes down.
He is important. He's important.
We'll be worse off, but we're not totally screwed because Dragusin is a very competent defender and he brings the ball out very well. So, you know, we can adapt. We have to adapt.
Yeah.
I just want to say this: if it turns out that Van der Ven is injured, and he picked up the injury during that game, that means he was injured before he went on that run. That delicious, amazing, wonderful, unbelievable, powerful, direct, intelligent run, which makes it just so much better. If he did that injured and outstripped 4 players chasing him and trying to mark him, what an incredible player we have.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. 100%. And at risk of everything getting boring, I definitely wouldn't want that to happen. So I'll just get to the next kind of bombshell thing that I've got. And I say bombshell like it's a big deal. But I feel like everyone's real quick to discredit Ange, and they want to. It's like he's only done it in shit leagues. He's only he's never done it in the Premier League. He's never done it in a top league. I don't know. Do you guys have any idea why everyone's so quick to discredit Ange? Is it just because the results aren't going our way, or is there a legitimate agenda against this guy? I feel like you've got to come from somewhere. You've got to start somewhere. Pep Guardiola got to start at Barcelona B. You know what I mean? Like coaching. I don't know. So yeah, do you guys? And I'll start with AJ. Why is everyone so desperate to discredit Ange? You think? And maybe they're not. Maybe I'm reading into it. But it just seems like a shit manager. Get him out of here, out of his depth, doesn't know what he's doing. And it's hard for me to make sense of.
I don't think it's a majority. I think it's a minority. Judging by a lot of people that went to the game that I've spoken to at different times, the atmosphere around the stadium, yeah, you're bound to get some people who, during the game, I've been to games where you don't agree with it. Substitution and manager's playing, you're like, what are you doing, you idiot? You don't know what you're doing. And that's in the moment. And then what happens? The substitution works out, they score, you win, and you look like an idiot. But the overriding feeling, apparently, from the people that actually go to the stadium and watch the games is very positive. They're behind the manager. It's only really on social media where you have all of the experts that know how to manage a football club that don't manage a football club, but you have all the experts that know exactly what he's doing wrong and can do it better than him. And that's the issue. And then that gets pushed out, and it looks like, because there's a lot of noise around it, it looks like the majority of the fan base is against the manager. I don't think that's true. I understand people questioning the tactics because, yes, it's risky. We play a high line, we're exposed. I think we desperately need a 6 to protect the back 2. I think that happens, and we can see just by that player being there, we can see the 3rd less goals. Just by him being there, not even doing anything, just by having an extra body as protection, stops the counter attack so easily, so frequently. The issue is he doesn't play that way. So will he adapt the team? Will he adapt his tactics to stop that being an issue? In the last 2 games, it hasn't really been an issue. I see someone say that against Leicester, they put us to the sword. They had a 15-minute spell. They were at home. The crowd got behind them. We've seen that happen to Manchester City, the best team in the world. We've seen that happen to Arsenal, probably the 2nd best team currently in the world, right? We've seen that happen to the top teams where they play a team that they should be comfortably beating, and then for 15, 20 minutes, that team, the crowd get behind them. One team goes their way, and everyone's and you have to weather it. It happens, but these people will have you believe it only happens to Tottenham Hotspur. We're the only club that the small teams try and fight against. It's not true. Okay, it's false information to perpetuate the narrative to suit the agenda. It's absolute rubbish. Yes, Ange gets things wrong. I've questioned him sometimes, but guess what? I'm not a Premier League manager. I'm not a qualified coach. I can sit and say from the comfort of my own chair what I think should or shouldn't be happening, but I'm not qualified to stand there and tell a man that is what he's doing wrong. You know, at the end of the day, my opinion is exactly that. It's my opinion, my thoughts. It doesn't mean shit, to be quite honest. In the grand scheme of things, everyone has got an opinion. They're like assholes. Everybody's got one. Yeah. Some people just like to push theirs more than others. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant.
No, I liked it. I liked it.
You're going for your hat trick next, AJ.
Exactly. Ellie, I wanted to ask you the same question, but also with a different sort of point of view, because you know you make it to more matches than I do. You know, you're there at the ground.
Proximity.
Do you think that the match going fans are trying, you know, are as fed up with Ange as social media would have you believe?
No way. The match going fans, they're absolutely fabulous. It's a different agenda altogether than social media, and Jose alluded to that on the other show we were on. But it's true, right? And there's a drummer that drums up, and Postecoglou, and everybody jumps on it, right? They're not like doing it half-heartedly. They're doing it at the top of their lungs, and they're standing up and clapping, and in the concourse when we've had the big win against West Ham, or you know, when we've beaten them. We haven't beaten them under Postecoglou, obviously, but I can't wait. If we beat Arsenal on the 15th of September, that concourse is going to be rocking. There'll be the trumpeter, there'll be the drummer, right? And everybody's on his side because they want him to do well, because he's the underdog. He's the man from Australia with Greek parents. He's always, they're going to look down on him because of that. They are. And even if he was in the top league and he won in the top league, he'll still have the antagonist against him. He would, because they'll say, oh, we can't do it in the Premiership. Right? Yeah. I just want him to prove them all wrong, because everywhere he's been, he's won. He's got a winner's mentality. He wants the best for Spurs, right?
Do you think he accidentally said that he thought we'd be challenging for a title this season, or he said it on purpose, I guess, but
he said hopefully, right? You've got to put it in context, right? He obviously wants to win the league.
Who wouldn't?
Every manager does. Do you think they go in wanting to finish bottom or mid-table or even fourth? They don't.
If so, I don't want him as my manager, you know?
Right? And you have to be the best to win it, right? And we've been the best in the past, but we haven't won it. Because when Leicester won it and when Chelsea won it, we were the better side over those 38 games, but they won it because they got it over the line. Sometimes the best teams don't always win the league, the most exciting football. All right, so I just want Postecoglou to prove them all wrong, not because I'm Greek. It doesn't come into it. No, I want him to do well. Maybe there's a little bit there, but I'm not going to play on it because people will have my but he's proven it everywhere he's gone, all right? And I know this is a tougher league, right? So he's got more work to do, all right? And he's getting there. He's building up his squad how he wants to play, yeah? So if we don't like the way he plays, right, there's going to be people coming out of the woodwork. There's going to be people up front with it, and they'll be all over social media, all over YouTube, saying their piece about Postecoglou's not good enough. But I personally think that he'll come good, right? It might not be this season, but I hope he does, because I want him to win at least one trophy so that we can say, look, that's a start, all right? And we've done it with little or no signings of any importance. Yeah. Right, so let's see what he can do, because I'm telling you, team spirit goes a long way in football, and if he can gel all the youngsters with the older, more experienced players, I think we're in for a good season.
Yeah, and winning breeds winning, like you said. You know, we win one trophy, and then it's becomes easier. It becomes less of a mental block. You know that we can't win trophies. We're cursed. We're Tottenham. I completely agree with that. And
what I saw against Leicester was the good, bad, and the ugly, right? But this game against Everton, all right, they're not the best opposition, but like AJ says, you got to beat what's in front of you, right?
And they're going to take a few scalps this season. You know, Everton's going to beat some teams this season that they shouldn't beat.
They will, because they're fighters. They are fighters.
It's the Premier League.
Yeah, they're fighters, especially on their home ground, because their home ground, they've got fantastic fans, Everton, right? And they would cheer them on through thick or thin, all right? So we beat them 4-0 very convincingly. So now we've got the proof of the puddings. Go to Newcastle, and we'll come on to that later, and let's see how far we've progressed.
Absolutely.
Can I just say one more thing quickly?
You can say any amount of things. You don't have to ask. Go for it.
I am absolutely astounded by the level of disrespect Ange actually gets from fans that have never coached at any level. I understand if you've got your coaching badges, and to a degree, you understand the inner workings of we all have a rough idea. We've all watched football. We've all played football to varying degrees. So we do have an understanding, but some, depending on your qualifications and your levels, know a little bit more and understand the game a little bit more in depth. I get that. But to actually disrespect a manager that's managed on different continents over, 20, 30 years now, he's managed at international level, he's won everywhere he's been, and to actually disrespect a manager to the level where you say a 12-year-old could outmanage him, outcoach him, to say that, yeah, maybe I do know more than Ange, like genuinely people saying this. I'm sorry, give yourself a talking to. Just take yourself outside, steal a moment, give yourself a bloody talking to, slap yourself if need be. It's absolutely ludicrous. The same as when people say, oh, yeah, don't want that footballer, he's shit. He's a professional footballer. I would love to have been professional level. What I wouldn't have given to have been able to play professional football, but I wasn't at that level. I was okay. I was decent at what I did, but I wasn't at that level. I would have given anything to be able to do that, to represent a football club, my football club. But I can't then say, no, I don't really dislike him. I don't think he's good enough. I think he's overhyped. I'm not going to sit there and go, no, that player's shit, because guess what? He's a professional footballer getting paid to do something I would love to do. How are you going to have the absolute cheek, to throw that much disrespect on somebody? It is obscene.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree. And I think that he's kind of instilled this. There's a steel about him, like a strength that he gives off, and I think the players are going to take that in. Yeah, I don't know. We just second season. I always bring this up, but the idiots down the road in red. Where were they? How was their manager looking at first? And now look at them. We have to reluctantly and honestly say that they look great, and I hate that. But they've stuck with the manager, they stuck with the plan, and we need to do the same thing. And it looks like everyone in the comments is on our side. We've got everybody in here that's on our side. I like it.
Exactly that. We have proven over the years, over the last 10 years. Not 10 years quite, because we had Poch within that time, and he was allowed to build, with the exception of Pochettino, Nuno, Jose, Conte. We've had managers come in and they're here for a season and a half, 2 seasons at the most, and they're sacked. And they come in and it's rinse and repeat, isn't it? And it's doomed to fail, because you come in, these are the players I want, this is the system we're going to play. You don't get the players in, you get makeshift players. You have them, you don't get where you need to be, you get sacked, you get another manager in, exactly the same, rinse and repeat, and we have that same. That doesn't work. That system, that style, what you're going with doesn't work. You need to say, this is the manager, this is our guy, we're going to back him, we're going to give him 3 seasons, 2, 3, 4 seasons, let him build. If at the end of that, we're not where we want to be, we can say it's failed. But if we're always just binning someone off a season and a half in, we're forever going to be in that state of perpetual motion where we're just rinse and repeating the exact same thing, and we're just failing over and over again.
Yeah. And also, can I add something as well, please?
You may.
Right. So, all the most successful clubs, apart from Chelsea, who sack their managers, right? They're the ones who hold on to their manager for quite a long time. So you can see Alex Ferguson, he was in charge for yonks, right? Then you've got Pep Guardiola, he's been there for 8-9 years now, right? And then you've got Klopp, who was there for 7 or 8 years. That they've got longevity, right? There's Chelsea are the exception. I don't know how they did it, but they did it with lots of buying brilliant
money.
Brilliant players.
Money.
Just like you got behind you, Ellie. Yeah, just like all that money behind you.
Yeah, all that money behind. You see, so I think you have to have stability at a club. You can't keep on rinsing, repeating, because you're changing the style as well. Because Conte and Mourinho, they've got similar styles, but they are different as well. And then you've got Postecoglou, who's all out attack. So, you know, you can't keep on chopping and changing systems. It's silly. And
right. If you're buying players for one system, then you've got to let the system build and grow long enough that these players can actually fit into it. And yeah, we've screwed ourselves so many times buying players for a manager and then sacking the manager and then being stuck with players that don't fit, square pegs and round holes. So
true. Because when a new manager comes in as well, Colin, they've got their own idea of who they want to keep and who they want to get.
A little black book, so to speak, of players, targets, of players that they think will fit their philosophy. 100%. It's sort of like whenever we got why can't I think of the Irish dude's name? The fullback, Matt Doherty.
Matt Doherty.
Yeah. And he literally was brought in for a manager to play wing back. Then we went for some reason to a flat back four, and he didn't fit. He wasn't a right back. He was a right wing back. So yeah, that's just the first example I thought of. But we do that shit all the time. Edward had a comment here that I think is lovely. He said Ferguson coached in Scotland and Wenger coached in Japan before being in the Premier League. And 100%, you've got to start somewhere. And people act like these leagues, while they aren't as high in, like the coefficients and stuff as England, as the Premier League, you're playing with the same kind of set of tools. You're playing within the same parameters as all the teams around you. It's not like he had a Premier League level team while he was in Japan. It's not like he had, and was playing against a bunch of scrubs. He was literally using the same tools, the same metrics kind of that those teams were using as well. So I don't know. I don't really buy the whole he only did it in shit leagues, because by all accounts then he had a shit team and he was able to do it with him. So
Wenger was with Grand Passat before he came to us. Nobody knew who he was, really. If they did, then they must have been like
really on the ball. Yes, scout, professional scout or something. Exactly.
What a great manager he was for Arsenal. He won 7 FA Cups while he was there. It's incredible.
Well, that's another thing I was going to ask about trophies real quick before I get on to another controversial point. And I'm actually going to start getting controversial, I promise. I've been teasing it and I haven't yet. But do you guys think that if Tottenham do win, say, an FA Cup, will the goalposts change? Will it be, well, Tottenham haven't won the league or Tottenham haven't got a Champions League? I think that we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. I feel like the doomers will find a reason to be upset with anything. And so even if we do get a trophy, if it's not, the league title, people will still shit on it, I think. Do either of you guys think that might be the case?
Possibly. Yeah. Go on, AJ.
Sorry. What you need to start doing, mate, is say Ellie or AJ so we know. Otherwise, we keep talking over each other.
Sorry, man. I'll get better.
I think in the immediacy, what will happen is if we win a trophy, everyone will be like, we've won a trophy. Like, it will be happiness. And I don't know if necessarily it will be something like, oh, well, we haven't won the Premier League. But it might be something like, oh, well, why are we getting carried away? We've only won one trophy in X amount. So I think those that are on default settings to be hypercritical, I think are always going to be hypercritical. I try to be balanced. I will be happy. I will be reactive, like most fans, right? If things go our way, in that instance, I'll be happy. Could even react, get carried away with myself. But I soon come back down to earth and look at things rationally. And it goes the other way as well. If things are going negatively, if I'm really pissed off, I'll be like, you know, we've done this, this is wrong, that's wrong, we need to sort this out. Once I've calmed down and cooled my head, I'm like, actually, you know, we move again, it's not so bad, these things happen. So it depends on your viewpoint. I think initially, if we won a trophy, I think the whole fan base are going to be happy with the fact that we've actually won. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see people just absolutely losing their shit, because that's what we want. We want to see our club win a trophy. But I think when the dust settles, it will be something along the lines of, well, it's only one trophy in 24 years. I mean, I can't say that's definitely going to happen, but that's what I think would happen.
I hope you're right. 100%, man. 100%. Everybody needs to come together. And real quick, I like this comment from Jamie. Like I said in my previous comment, Colin, fans will still moan if he wins a trophy. They'll complain that it's taken too long. The negatives, they don't care about Spurs. They just won't leave you out. And that's fair. If you won't leave you out, that's totally fair. So this is something that I touched on last night at the end of my show, and we'll go and talk about it today. I didn't get to talk to Ellie about it, or most of you guys in the chat, to be fair. I was on at a weird time. So it says, realists versus happy clappers. Are some fans better than others? Because you have a bunch of fans that'll say, it's you guys are to blame. We're mediocre because of you. And a lot of finger pointing, and it just, to me, I don't get the point in it. The only way, I don't know, we got to come together. How do we unify this Spurs group? But yeah, I mean, and AJ, we've talked about this, but Ellie, do you think that any of the fans are at fault for our current situation? And if you do, that's fine. I'd love to. Like, I'm definitely not trying to get you to say a certain thing at all. I really just want to hear your opinion.
There's not one fan that I know that wants us to do badly. They all want us to do good. All right. There's nothing wrong with saying that we should do better, but there's a way to do it. Like, some people, they just say, if you accept this, if you accept what we're doing now, you're accepting mediocrity. But you're supporting your club, you're supporting the team. You want to push your boys so that they do better, all right? And whatever we've got, we can't change that. We can't change individually how the clubs spend their money. We can put pressure on them to spend more by doing protests and things like that, and voicing our opinion that we're not happy with what's going on at the club. But there's another thing, throwing it back at the fans, because the fans, all they want is to be winners. Every fan in the country wants their team to win cups. Why do we go to football? We go to enjoy, but we also go so that we can see our club succeed. We don't want them to finish fourth, third or second. We all want them to finish first so that we can rave about it and throw it in the other fans' face. Yeah.
Hell yes. Absolutely.
It's not accepting mediocrity. You're not accepting by going to the matches and supporting your club. You want them to go to a different level, right? Yeah. It's not our fault that the club, you can protest and say to them, look, we don't accept what you're doing. Yeah. And if you're doing your best, some people say that some people just let it happen. I don't think they let it happen.
Do we really have that much control? You know, I don't understand what we're letting.
Protests have gone at Spurs. Not many, and there's not many people at the protest. But it doesn't mean that they're not effective. What if more people join the protest? Do you think the club's going to change? Maybe.
That's exactly. Can you imagine? I'm sure Levy's looking out the window and he sees a gathering of 100 people or 200 people and goes, oh, actually, I better stop what I'm doing. You know, the stadium's full. There are still people buying tickets, people waiting on the list to buy season tickets. You know, people thousands of people that can't actually get match day tickets. The way Tottenham is marketed, the global brand that we are, 5,000 of us could go. We're going to boycott, not go. But those tickets will be snapped up as quick as anything. So it doesn't actually make a difference. What are we, the fans, individually meant to do? Unless you have the entire fan base in unison, demand change and boycott games and the stadium's empty, that, you know, but that's not going to happen. There will always be people that want to go and feel. And
also, AJ, sorry to cut across. If we, because
no, that's
right. If we demand change, right, and they change and they buy players, but we still don't win anything, because that is a possibility. We still might not win anything because there's clubs out there that are established winners: Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City. Right, and then you've got Newcastle waiting in the background. Right, we've got to keep up. We've not only got to keep up with them, we've got to take them over. Right,
and there's a certain amount of luck involved in that too. You know, it's you have to have a little bit of luck in football, but you make your own luck. But I think the club are trying, right? But when you said about AJ, we don't just push that extra bit. Just push that extra bit and we might even get there. Yeah.
Big up, Jacob.
We want to be the nearly men. We want to be the yearly men. We want to win the league every year.
100%. 100%.
There's not one man in this country who supports Spurs that doesn't want success. Of course
absolutely.
We do.
100%. And Jacob from United Spurs of America is in the house saying, sorry, but crying in your room on the internet isn't changing a multi-billion-dollar company.
100%.
Big up, y'all. And agreed. And also people are saying, and I don't want to name any names. I won't. I promise not to. But there's people that say, just be real. Spurs fans can't even just see the realness. Why is everybody so upset with what's real? Well, why is me acknowledging that things are shit? That doesn't change anything. Like that doesn't, I mean, I just don't get how. I don't know. A lot of fans just think it seems like on YouTube think that they're better than others, are quick to talk down to others, are quick to call others the problem, but they don't offer a solution to fix things. To me, if you have a big problem with something, offer me a solution, offer me some guidance, maybe let me know what I can do to help, because I want to help. I want Spurs to win. I want you know what I mean? Yeah. I want that just as bad as anybody. But I think just pointing fingers and throwing rocks at each other and saying it's your fault, without.
If you're going to be telling people they're doing it wrong, if you're telling people they're wrong what they're doing, then you must know what's right. If you know what's right, share it. Share the info. Help everybody. One thing that bothers me, and it bothers me greatly, I totally understand wanting us to sign superstars. I get it. I wanting us to sign these top quality, top draw players that are going to go in, that would walk into any team in the league. I get that 100%, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would love that to happen. But we know the way this club is run, that's not going to happen. Something I keep seeing, and I keep seeing it across YouTube, I keep seeing it across Twitter, and it proves that it's more about agenda than it is about wanting your team to prosper. I've seen people state it doesn't matter what we achieve under Levy now. So basically, if we went, and I asked to one of these people, I asked the question, so say in the next 10 years we won 7 trophies, is Levy that? Nah, Levy still needs to go. It doesn't matter. Levy needs to get out. But if in 10 years we get 7 trophies, no, it doesn't matter. He needs to go. Levy out at all costs. That's now an agenda, right? I get to date that under his tenure, it's not been great. As a club, we've grown, right? Financially, we're secure, we're profitable. I get that. On the football side of it, not so much. We haven't been great, okay, and we need to improve. But you can't say that if all of a sudden we start winning things, that you're still absolutely no. If Levy has a light bulb moment, and all of a sudden the investment goes in and we're starting to buy these oven-ready players that are performing week in, week out, and we're competing and we're at the top end of the Premier League, and we're picking up European Cups, we're picking up FA Cups, and we're winning 5, 6, 7 trophies over the next 10 years. Surely the narrative has got to change from Levy out, he's no good. But to some people, that's all they want. But then once he's gone, what's the next agenda? What's the next issue? What's the next problem? Do you see what I'm saying? If you're fixating on that, I don't think he's good for the club in footballing terms. As a business, at generating revenue,
exactly,
I think he's exceptional. But on the football side of it, not great at all. And we need somebody better. But when he's gone, what happens next? Who then? Where is this going to, the focal point's got to go somewhere. If you're focusing at something, if that target's gone, you then need something else to focus your attention on. What's it going to be?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. And I get that, and I get the frustration from everybody, and I get all sides of the argument. My argument would be, the devil you know is sometimes better than the devil you don't. There's some terrible teams. The teams have had terrible owners in the past, and who's to say we wouldn't get one of those? But then the counter argument to that would be, if you don't ever take a risk, if you don't ever take a chance, nothing will change. Maybe it will be better. And I get that. I'm sort of stuck in where I am and what I think. And that's part of why I did this show. I'm not here to tell anybody what to think at all. I just wanted to pick your brains and kind of poke at you guys a little bit too, just to get everybody going. Everybody's all riled up today anyway, so I thought, hey, why not come and rile everybody up a little more? But yeah, and this comment from Graham is really sums it up for me. It's how I feel. Nothing wrong with the constructive criticism, but the derogatory manner in which some elements do their criticizing is off. It's offside, man, and it just bothers me. I don't know. And it's a cop out, I think, to tell everybody, to tell fans it's their fault that the team's not doing well. If we all suddenly stop supporting, would Tottenham start winning trophies? I don't think so. You know what I mean? All of us fans that are the problem. So I don't know. And depending on who comes in the chat, we might revisit that. But guys, let's talk about something a little cooler. We got to be brave and back the boys and win against Newcastle. We've got Newcastle at the weekend, and if you ask a lot of people, that game's already done. We might as well not even play it because we're going to get slapped around. Newcastle are going to carve through us. Look at Newcastle and the last couple of games we've had against them, and look at us. And that's not the Spurs I know. The reason I fell in love with Spurs is because they were a swashbuckling team that would go out and fight against anybody, give it their all against anyone. And this defeatist attitude is really weird to me. It's not something I'm used to around these parts. And I think that we've got every chance of beating Newcastle. I think Spurs can go out and beat anybody. And maybe that's the happy clapper delusional Colin talking, and that's fine. I can believe that. That's okay. And you guys can believe anything different. But Ellie, do you have any thoughts about this match against Newcastle? Are you worried?
I love you, Colin, because the more excited you get, the more higher pitch your voice gets, and it's so cool.
Oh man, yesterday I probably sounded like a chipmunk. Then I was really worked up yesterday.
Yeah, because you're a proper Spurs fan, like you love the club, right? And you've only been a Spurs fan for a short time of your life, really, because you came across Spurs and you loved what we did and the signings we were making, and you followed us all throughout from America, and it's fantastic. And it's lovely to hear people like you and Chang in Malaysia, and other people like Leo Coys and Peter Gagargis and David Shear, Bobby Kay, and all the people abroad. They're so positive. They haven't got a negative thing really to say about how we're doing, but that you've seen us struggle and you've seen us not win things.
AVB, Nuno. You know what I mean?
You've been through the tough times.
Tim Sherwood and Adebayor. I was there.
Yeah, right. So you know where we're coming from. So, like I said before, every fan in whatever continent you're on, support the club, right? Push them till they drop. Because I tell you what, when you're encouraging them at home and you're cheering them on, they find another speed, they find another angle to try and win the match. And we've won many a match like that where we've actually dragged the team over the line through great support. And the great Bill Nicholson put it in a nutshell. And he said, I won't be here. The owners might not be here, but the fans will always be here. Right, and we're the backbone. Without us, there's no Tottenham Hotspur. All right, so we're the backbone, and we do care about our club, regardless of what people say. That maybe you're not a protester, so what? All right, you still support your club in what way you wish. There was a comment just now that said, "Don't tell me how to support my club." All right, that's Mia used to say that as well, and I really believe that. You support your club how you want to support them.
Definitely. Yeah? My only gripe with that is if your support If your support though is shitting on other people for their support, I kind of have an issue with that. You know what I mean? Like that's my only. Yeah, it's like freedom of speech. You can have it, but as soon as your freedom of speech it impinges or like messes with other people's freedom of speech, then it's wrong. But no, but yeah, 100% support the club how you want. Just don't be.
And whatever players you love, stick by them, because
and if you don't,
you love them for a reason. Whatever whatever player you love in the team currently, go with it. Don't worry what other people say. You stick with your player. Like Bobby Kay with Eric Dyer.
Exactly.
Bobby Kay, he loved Eric Dyer. So did another person who I won't mention.
Yeah, exactly. No.
I think Eric Dyer was scapegoated a fair bit. Like he was, and he's gone and cemented a space in the Bayern Munich team. So they're a European giant.
All the way to the bank, isn't he?
Yeah, he can't be what some people were saying, our worst ever player. Some people actually said that, and I'm like, you clearly got an agenda. There are a few players,
and your memory is that of a goldfish. You're not thinking back far enough if you think Eric Dyer's our worst ever player. Sheesh. Exactly. Sheesh. Yeah, absolutely. We got Jamie saying that he's been called a lot of things, especially by his wife. Love it, but he thinks we're going to turn him over. Newcastle are playing today. Yeah, you guys can't forget Newcastle do have a match in between. When we've last played and then when we play them. So that's a great thing for us.
I think it's a great time to be playing them. They have not looked great. They scraped by Southampton. They drew 1-1 with Bournemouth. They don't look good at the moment. I think now is a very good time to play them before they're confident, before their players get up ready for it. Because let's be honest, they've got a good team, and Isak is absolutely quality. And if our midfield and defence isn't on song, then we're going to have our hands full. We are, but I would rather be playing them now than in, say, 6, 7, 8 games' time.
Once they've gelled, once they've gotten into their stride. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Ellie, are you scared of Newcastle at the weekend? Oh, you were muted, my love.
That's because my husband's in the background. He was talking to me.
Hi, Theo.
Yeah, it's a tough game regardless, because we've had 2 rotten results where we've conceded 10 goals in 2 matches and only scored 1. So we've got
that's
any improvement on that is a bonus, right? So we want to go there with confidence, because that Everton win, we're flying high, and they haven't had such good results. But don't count them out, because they are a very good side. So, and they always raise their game against us. All right. And I just feel that we've got to go and give a good account of ourselves, because the 2 matches that we played rotten cotton. So I want to play well and come home with all the 3 points. Like when we beat them 3-2. Yeah, that was they scored early, didn't they? And then we beat them.
That was a nervy one. That was nervy in and of itself. Yeah, even though we won. So
play well there. Play well and come home with all 3 points. That'd be perfect.
Absolutely, and I think it would do a lot to calm down the fan base that is pretty agitated at the moment.
Yeah,
I got to ask the question though. So we beat Everton, and it was a convincing win. We smashed them, which is all we can do. That's all you can ask of a team to do is beat who's in front of them, regardless of if they are good or if they are bad, right? So the narrative in the story was, oh, hey, Everton were shit. That's why y'all won. It's because Everton sucked. So if we win, will it be Newcastle are shit or Spurs are good? And that's what I'm worried about. I think that it'll just be, oh, Newcastle had a bad match. We got lucky. And maybe I'm being overly negative now. It's very possible. Everybody kind of has that. I was talking to Ben. I'll just say who I was talking to. I was talking to Ben earlier, and we were talking about toxicity and how you can be positive in a toxic way. You can be so positive that it's a bit toxic and unrealistic. And then it goes the other way. You can be so negative that it's unrealistic and toxic. And you've got to find somewhere in the middle to meet. And I think lately, maybe I'm guilty of it as well. But yeah, I do want this question. But so AJ, what do you think about this question though? Do you think that there is a certain subset of the fans that'll just say, "Oh, we got lucky"?
I think what you're saying about toxicity both ways is absolutely bang on. I mean, it is mentioned.
I'm as guilty as anybody else. Yeah.
It is mentioned that you can be negatively toxic, but it's not very well documented that you can be positively toxic, and you can think everything's sunshine and rainbows, even if it's not, even if it's terrible. If we go and we beat Newcastle, a team that's had our number the past 2 seasons, especially at their ground, if we go and we beat them, regardless of the situation, that's a brilliant result, right? That's a brilliant result. That means it's sorry, it means it's 7 points from our first 3 games, and it should have been 9. But we are the reason, not Leicester, we are the reason it wasn't, because we didn't put away our chances. We could have been out of sight against Leicester. So if we beat Newcastle, regardless of how we beat them, the fact is we still beat them. It's a great start to the season. Not the best start, but a great start nonetheless. But there will be some that say, oh, well, they haven't hit their stride yet. They're not firing yet. Wait until you play them later on in the season, see how well you do again. There will be people that say that, but also there will be people that go, oh, we beat Newcastle. They beat us last season. They beat us the season before. Oh, we're going to win the league now. So it works both ways. You'll get people who overreact positively to it, and you'll get people that overreact negatively to it regardless. I just think if we go there and we get the win, that's great, right? That's great. Then we go again, because the week after that, we've got Arsenal. That's a very big match. I'd rather go into that match against Arsenal off the back of a win against the team that, people have thought, and with, it's fair, people have thought that it will be difficult, we'll struggle against. If we get a win, then we're going into the Arsenal match off the back of a win against a decent team. You can only be positive. You can only be looking forward to the next game then. So, yeah, it like you said, it works both ways.
Yeah, for sure. And Jeff THFC, big up Jeff. Don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, man. It says positively toxic. And yeah, I know that sounds stupid. And I guess what I'm just saying is that you can be too far either direction. I think that, we all need to just try to see things as they are, and not go for the worst case scenario all the time, not doom and gloom, but also be real about things. And I think I have a habit of maybe being overly positive. So I was kind of just speaking to myself, Jeff. I was trying to make it clear that I'm not like shitting on everybody but myself. I don't think that I'm like some perfect fan, and that I got flaws too. So that's really what I meant when I said positively toxic. I just wanted to include myself in this and say that, I am definitely not without fault, and Nick doesn't get it either. AJ, but you understand what I mean, right? With the positively toxic deal.
Sorry, mate, say that again.
Oh, for one, real quick, Ellie has to bounce. I just saw that, Ellie.
Bounce, darling. Sorry.
No, it's been lovely having you. Thank you so much for being
here.
He
wants to have a bath, and he can't really manage it. So
cheeky. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. It's not even watershed time.
I'll leave it to your imagination, but he does need more help to get in and out of the bath, because we haven't got a walk-in bath yet, but we're planning to get one, because his disability is getting worse, and it's the cavernoma mainly what's causing his problems, the balance. Yeah, it's not the actual spinal surgery that he had, so I've got to go and help him.
Well, you're a wonderful lady.
He'll just fall, and I won't be there to catch him.
Yeah, no, Ellie, please go help and tell him we all said hello, and that we're glad that QPR got the win.
Just big up.
It's been a pleasure.
And big up Spurs diehards, because I've got to give our channel a mention as well.
Oh yeah, I'll throw the link in there. I promise.
We had both of you on, and you're both fantastic guests. You always add some colour and some vibrant comments, and I love your rants, AJ. They're fantastic.
That's his best. That's his best feature. But yeah, tell Theo we said hey, and congrats on the win.
I will do. I'll give him a special kiss from you, Colin.
Yes, tell him this is from Colin and his beard. Yeah, perfect.
You take care. Bye-bye.
See ya, Elsie.
See ya, Ellie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
She's the best. All right. Well, hey, look at this. Phil Coyce agrees. Says, Ellie, you're a diamond. 100%. 100%. What a good person. Roundtable talk. I don't understand how being positive at any level in life can be toxic.
It can.
And again, I half agree. I mean, I like I said, I was really just trying to say that I'm equally as much of the problem as anybody else, and I just don't want to look like I'm coming in here to shit on other fans. That's not my MO. That's not my bag. Obviously, I'm doing it a bit, but I also want to say that you can shit on me too. You know, I've got my own faults, and maybe that's that I'm too positive, that I don't, see things how they really are sometimes, that I just see them how I want to see them. Yeah, but AJ, do you have anything to add to that real quick?
Just if you can be, I'm a great believer in balance, right? I believe
100%.
in balance in life. You have to have balance. It just is. There's an equal opposite to everything. Yeah, you got light, dark, heavy, light. You got just wet, dry, cold, hot. That everything has an equal opposite. Yeah. So if you can be overly negative and toxic to that degree, then you can be overly positive and toxic to that degree. It works. If everything around you is failing and going down the crapper, and you're, oh no, nothing's wrong, you're putting the blinkers on, you're putting the shutters are up, you're not paying any attention, that's toxic, because it means you're not dealing with what is glaringly obvious. It means you're being ignorant to the problem, to the issues that are right in front of you. That is toxic, because you're doing yourself a disservice. Yeah, you need to try to be as people. Everyone's biased. Everyone's got a
That's
bias, right? Everyone's got things they prefer, players they prefer, people they prefer. It just is. It doesn't matter how neutral you try to remain. It is a thing. I try to stay balanced, but I'm biased. I'm biased towards players that I like, to people that I like, to foods that I like, and it's just the way we are as people. But
yeah.
certainly, absolutely, you can be toxic positively and negatively.
And maybe toxic isn't the word we should use, but you can just be over. I don't know. Like you said, balance is important, and objectivity is important. But yeah, Jeff, I know that you're still not on the same page, and I apologize, and maybe I'm not conveying myself super clearly here. But yeah, I'm still really glad you're here, man. Um, Shimtan says, "You're the problem, Mr. Happy Clapping Junior Intern Colin. Hashtag bring back boss man Jose." Um, yeah, we need him. We need him back. We sure do. Uh, Hopefully we can get him back. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. Um, Nick says that's different though. Denial isn't directly related to positivity. Fair dues. Fair dues. And then Chris Lonnie wants to know if you've got a channel, AJ. And I tell him I tell him that he needs one. I tell him that he needs to get one. Not yet, I don't think,
No,
right? No channel yet?
no, no, Chris, I don't. I appreciate the comment. Thank you very much.
Hey, and I appreciate you, AJ, being on the show, and everybody else here. If you appreciate Jose and the work that he does over at El Cockerel, please make sure you sub. He is on the road to 600 subs, and he's damn near there. If just a couple of you shoot, Jeff, if you're not already on there, if you wanted to run over there and give him a subscribe, that would help. And he doesn't talk about toxic positivity, so maybe that also would sway you to going over there. But yeah, yeah. Anybody that hasn't, please sub to El Cockerel. And also, if you like hearing from AJ, tune in here because I'll have him on here as often as he'll come on. Gosh darn it. Um, uh, Ben Kaufman says cereal is really good for you. Eat too much of it, and your bowel movements turn to water, which isn't good. I get it. I get what you're saying. 100%. There's got to be a balance to all things. So yeah. Pete's saying that you would be someone that he would like to have a beer with. Absolutely, absolutely. I would as
Cheers,
well.
much appreciated. I like all these. I tell you what, I like these comments. I like this positivity. See, this kind of positivity isn't toxic. Keep it coming.
Exactly, exactly. Here, and Jeff, big up, Jeff. Thank you so much for say we're fans. That's it. We're the 12th man, the cheerleaders of our club. I've been a Tottenham supporter since 1981. Call me positively toxic. Oh, well, I don't care. Support my club. Bro, I'm sorry, because I think you're taking it not the way that I mean for it to be taken. I came in here. I had a whole show last night where I said this. I said, no fans are the problem, and I'm sorry if anyone has made you feel otherwise. I love being positive. I'm the happiest of happy clappers. But I'm just saying, maybe I was just thinking out loud that maybe that's not a good thing, but maybe it is. I can be swayed. I'm not a genius, Jeff, at all. In fact, I'm just some guy that has a couple Spurs kits and likes to watch Spurs and has a webcam and a microphone that I wear in my face. You know what I mean? I could absolutely have my mind changed. But I do think, there's two sides to everything. There's balance needed in everything. But I'm super, super, super glad you're here, Jeff. 100%. You're always welcome. And you know that I just want you to know we're not a negative channel at all. Yes, we're on the same side. And big up, Daniel. Yeah, guys. That's pretty much everything. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Odebear. I just had this feeling that he might end up being my new favorite player by the end of the season. He could form a good relationship with Solanke, because Solanke needs balls put into the box to thrive. If we want a 20-goal a season striker minimum, that's what everybody clamors for. You need a striker that's going to score you goals. 20 a season seems to be that magic number, that magic minimum that everybody, for a striker having a good season. I think for that to happen, we're going to need to have some delivery from the wings, some service to him, because he's not going to create his own chances. No disrespect to the man. That's just not the game that he plays. So I think Odebear is going to be a good one. I think that everyone's going to crucify me, but I think Werner will play well with him. But anyway, I don't know. Do you let's just move to Big Dom Solanke. Do you think that he's going to have a positive season with us, AJ?
If who is it who put it in the group? I think it was Kate. Kate put it in the group. This piece that 442 did on Dominic Solanke and his style, how he plays, perfectly fits our system. Right? We get the ball down the flanks and we cross low crosses in. And unfortunately for us, Richie hasn't done it. Son hasn't done it. He's not that sort of player. They're not beating their man and getting to the ball, getting across their defender and slotting the ball in, right? So a lot of the chances we're creating down the wings are going to waste. Solanke plays that way. That's how he plays. That's how he thrives. He was I think he was actually the top player for pressing movements, pressing actions in the whole of the Premier League. So
yeah, I'd
the
heard
way
that
we
too.
want to play,
Yeah,
the way we want to play and the system we play will suit him perfectly. So I think if he has an injury-free season, you're looking at I think a 20 GA season, 15, 16 goals, some assists, because he's tailor-made for the system. The way he plays is perfect. Odegaard, I want us to line up. If Solanke's back and he's fit, I want Solanke up top, Son on the left, and I want Odegaard on the right. I want to see what this kid can do on the right. Maybe him and Son can chop and change.
Oh
Kulu,
yeah,
if
they
he's
definitely will. They'll flip
if
around. It happens for
if
sure.
if Kulu's going to play in the middle with Madison again, I mean, Kulu likes to occupy that right channel anyway, doesn't he? He likes to drift out slightly and occupy that space. So
Yeah.
I think that would work well, Odegaard and Kulu in that position. I want, if Werner, if Johnson come on, I want it to be 10 minutes left to go when the game's already tied up. To run
literally just bomb it down the byline and then put it in the low cross. That's all they got to do. That's it.
That's it.
That's so simple.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
that's all I want.
And I think they're capable of that. We're not asking too much here. Run as fast as you can down the touch line. You know what I mean? And then put a cross in. Low cross. Don't float it in, for Christ's sake. Please God. But yeah. I mean, I don't think that's asking a lot. We got Johnny Bethel Green in the house. What's up? He says, afternoon, geezers. Would have been here earlier, but I got a yellow card. Uh-oh. You don't want to get in trouble, man. Sounds like you got in trouble with the missus. Don't want to do that. But good to have you here, JBG. Good to have you here. And good to have everybody here. I really, like I said, this show's been kind of a shit show. I kind of have been all over the place, but that's fine. I just wanted to address some of the psycho-ness that I've been seeing in these group chats. If you're not part of the group chats, probably good for you right now for your mental health. They're going a little crazy. Yeah, and again, I want to reiterate, no fans are the problem. And I'm sorry again if anyone's made you feel that way, because it's a shitty thing to say to people, especially when they don't offer a solution to how you can not be the problem. And yeah, I think I think most of you guys in here probably feel the same way. I hope, you know, and there's going to be realists and there's going to be happy clappers. There's room for both. I don't think that you know, I don't think being one or the other makes you not a fan, but I do think that if we do want good things for the club, I think us all coming together is good. It's almost like I don't want to get political, but it's like politics. Like they split people up because people together have power and can actually do things. But whenever you're split and there's infighting, it that's what you're worried about, you know. And yeah, there's bigger things going on. So yeah, let's see. We've got a couple more comments here. I know that I've kept you for a long time too, AJ. I don't want to keep you forever. Lee Smithy Smith is in the house. Big up, Lee says Wagwan all. Are you Donna Cullen? Is that you, Leo? Or Lee? Is that you? You've been Donna Cullen this whole time? Just kidding. But yeah, Smithy is a good dude. Daniel says, Smithy, it's been another eventful day. Let's just say that, mate. And then Ed is saying, if I had cancer, I'd prefer to be a happy clapper. 100%, dude. And I'll get a little personal, and I don't mind. I have autoimmune disease, and it's gotten really a lot worse lately. And if I wasn't a happy clapper, and I'm not always, it gets to me sometimes, I would just be like sitting down and laying in bed and crying all the time. But you just can't. You just can't. And you're right, guys. Sometimes delusional happiness is good, I guess. I don't know. AJ, I'm changing my mind. I'm being a flip flopper. I'm sitting on the fence. I got splinters in my ass, as people would say. You know, I'm rethinking this toxic positivity thing. But I still do think there's merit there. I still do get what you're saying. JBD says I'm a happy slapper. Does that count? Letting it all hang low. Yeah, man, you gotta put some boxers on, buddy. You don't want to go commando all the time. Not good. And then what else we got? Just people I haven't said hey to. I just want to make sure everybody gets a hey. And guys, please do really help support Jose's channel. That's an important thing to me. So please make sure you do that. And TTID. Let me get their link up here too. But yeah, can you think of anything else that needs addressed, AJ? Do you think? Well, okay. Quick question: with all these possible injuries, what do you think? So let's imagine, just for imagining's sake, that VDV is injured, that Solanke's injured, and who was the third?
I don't know. I don't think Jose remembered who the third person was.
Okay, well, imagine that those two are out. What's your lineup look like? I guess you just probably slot Dragishin in there, right? For VDV.
Yeah, you've got to, really, haven't you? I mean,
and it's why he's there. You know,
Ben Davies is not the one for me. He's just not. I appreciate what he's given to the team over the years, and he's had some decent performances and he's done fairly well. But when he's not at the level we need him to be, we need better than that, and that's an area that we need to improve on. So yeah, it's got to be Dragusin. I mean, if Bentancur's fit, I think Bentancur played very well, but you can't really displace Basuma after that performance, after that goal.
Oh, yeah, Bentancur's ban is only international, right? It's not in the Premier League. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. So I would start Biss again. He scored. He gave the manager a reason to keep him in the team, right? I mean, he's performed. He scored a goal. He had a decent performance. So I would then play Madders and Kulu. Then, you said, what if Dominic's not playing? I would then play Kulu as a false nine. I'd play Kulu as a false nine.
It worked so well in preseason. It looked beautiful. That was some great football.
And personally, I just think the best way Tottenham can set up is to keep Johnson and Werner off the pitch for as long as possible. I think they are impact players. I don't think they're players that are going to get on that pitch, start and take the game by the scruff of the neck and excite them. I think Odegaard did more in his Premier League debut than Werner has done for a while and Johnson has done for a while. He was
But
exciting. He had the fans up out their seats.
so I'll ask you
So
the same dumb question that I heard, and God, I'm being an asshole now. Sorry, this is directly to a person. I don't care. I'll ask you the same question that I heard on another show. What I'm only devil's advocate here because I agree with you. He did have a good match, but if you're saying he did, what did he do that was good? Then if he had a good showing, what was good? What did he do that was good?
I'm guessing. I have no idea who you're referencing, by the way. But I'm guessing that this person relies solely on stats and output, right? And yes, that's important. It's important to put the numbers up. However, it's what he gave the team. The fullback had his hands full, so the fullback couldn't rest. Yeah, the fullback didn't know whether he had to come short. He didn't know whether Odegaard was running in behind. He didn't know whether he was coming on his right or going on the outside on his left. With that happening, the right-sided centre half then has to cover him, right? Because if Odegaard skins him and beats him, he's in the box. Once a player who's quick and tricky is in the box, you can't really make a tackle because you're going to give away a penalty, right? You run that risk. So all of a sudden, your right-sided centre half has had to cover your right back, which then means the gap between your right-sided centre half and your left-sided centre half is wider. So there's gaps appearing, right? And the way we play with our inverted fullbacks, they're pushing in, they're going to fill in these gaps, yeah? Even if they're not, then you've got Madison and Kulu who are going to be finding space. So it's all part of playing for the team. Yes. Do we want to see Odegaard scoring goals and assisting? Yes. Is that the be all and end all? No. If you are occupying, as a 19-year-old, if you're occupying two players and freeing up space for your teammates, and we're capitalizing on that, and we're scoring goals and we're winning the match, that's good enough for me, right? Yes, in an ideal world, we want to see him going on these mazy David Ginola-esque runs and ripping teams apart and slotting the ball in the bottom corner. That's what we want to see, but it doesn't have to be that. That is not the measure of whether or not the boy's done good. He's 19 years old on his Premier League debut for his new club in front of 62,000, and he, judging by all that were there, they were all off their seat, all screaming, all cheering, all happy. We've been screaming as a fan base, some more than others, but we've been screaming for a fan base. We don't have a winger that takes people on. Look at City, look at Liverpool, look at Arsenal. They've got wingers that excite. They take their man on. They get the ball down and they go at their defender. We buy a player that does that, and all of a sudden the goalposts have changed. It's not about whether or not you take your man on now. It's about, oh, but what were the stats? What was you're always going to have people that move the goalposts. For me, I gave him a 7 out of 10 for my rating. I think he contributed to the team. I think he gave two players a lot to think about. We won the match, yeah? Did we win the match solely because of him? No. Did he contribute to the team? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, jinx. But yeah, no, you're 100% right, man. You're 100% right. And that's such an important thing, you know, a player being able to pull defenders towards them. I know that he's not Gareth Bale, but if you remember, Gareth Bale was always doubled up on, sometimes tripled, and that always left another person open. You know what I mean? It's just the way the game is. It's creating space. It's something we didn't do prior really to Odegaard coming in. So yeah, and Jeff has the wonderful comment here. He says exactly, Odegaard keeps their fullback or wide back honest. 100%, man. Wing back, wide back, whatever. Keeps them honest, and I completely agree. Completely agree. I think Odegaard is a great player. If you're gonna, I don't know, if you're gonna be about stats, that's fine too. It's just I prefer to use a mixture of stats and the eye test. You know, you don't want to rely totally on stats.
I think stats should only ever back up the eye test, right? I think football is fundamentally a game where you go and you watch and you want to be up out your seat. You want to appreciate and enjoy what you're seeing, right? A visual spectacle. That's why we tune in. That's why we go, yeah. The stats are great. It's great to see, oh yeah, our striker scored 20 goals this season. You know, he assisted 13. What a striker, you know, what a contribution to the team. That's great. But you want to be at the stadium. You want to be watching on TV and seeing these players excite you. That's what you want. Stats should only ever back up what you've seen and what you think. They shouldn't be your go-to. And in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, okay, it doesn't make it right, but it's just my opinion. If you are relying solely on stats, maybe football isn't the sport for you. That's just my opinion. Okay, that's the way I think, and that's the way I feel.
I completely agree. Sorry, I was looking at my phone real quick. No, completely agree. Stats should back up the eye test. But there's some cool stats here from Quez. I feel like you can also cherry pick stats. You know, stats can fit an agenda if you would like them to. You can look at certain stats that'll tell you one thing and certain stats that'll tell you another if you're not looking at the whole picture. And I feel like that's something that we're all guilty of at times. I'm really not trying to take a dump on any particular person. I'm really not. But Odebear had, I don't know what an SCA is, but one SCA, 82% pass accuracy, 7 progressive carries, which is the leading team leading, 6 take-on attempts, team leading, 2 of them successful. See, I heard that he didn't have any successful take-on attempts, so that's great. See, what you hear is different depending on who you ask. 7 touches in the penalty, team leading, 1-2 aerial duels. It's a good debut, 100%, 100%. And you can see.
Those stats look impressive, don't they? They look impressive.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. And everyone's saying, well said, AJ. I put in here that you're the smartest dude I know. Daniel's asking, though, what about him? You're tied. You guys are tied. You're tied for the smartest dude I know. And Jeff is agreeing. Jeff is agreeing too.
You are too nice to me.
No, mate, I'm not. Seriously, I don't know if anybody would tune in if you weren't here. To be fair, they'd be like, "What the fuck is this guy on about?" But you're here, you're talking sense, and I love it, and I appreciate it. So yeah, everybody does, man. So once you get a channel, you're gonna smash it, bro. Just have me on. Make sure you have me on when you do. And but yeah, it's just been a weird day. I woke up. Well, actually, last night I couldn't sleep, and I was looking at the group chats, and they were just absolutely wild. And so I whipped up the thumbnail because I was pissed off, and I made this show. And honestly, talking through this has helped me feel a lot better. Sorry if I pissed anybody off. I obviously pissed off that one dude. He's gone. Whatever. Sorry about that, though. I really didn't come in here with the intention to make anybody mad or to pick on anyone or to single out anybody. Not my bag. So sorry for that, but I have had a good time talking, and it was really nice to have Ellie's view on things. Because she's always at the matches as much as she can be. She lives a stone's throw away. So having her opinion is always great. Yeah, and everybody in the chat, if I could just get your opinion before we head out. What do you think the final score is going to be against the Newcastle? I'll go first. I see us getting a win, but I think it's going to be really hard fought. I don't see a clean sheet. I'm sorry. I know Vicario is a good keeper, of course, but I mean, our record against Newcastle speaks for itself. I think we'll get a 3-2 win, and I think it'll be nervy as hell. AJ, you got any thoughts on it?
I think if Van der Ven is injured, I think we win the game 2-1. I think if he plays, we win the game 2-0. I really, really feel positive about the game. We have played some very good football. We have controlled both the games, and they haven't been very good at all. They have been quite sloppy. See, Ronnie, like it. Yes, Ronnie. They've been mediocre in both their games. It's just not going for them at the moment. So let's capitalize on that. Yeah, let's go at them. Let's get there, get the ball down, and just go at them.
100%. There's no reason not to, and I don't see this team playing with fear right now, and that's a great thing. And I know that the fans are the best fans ever, or whatever, but I like to think our boys have the mental fortitude to play anywhere, even the most hostile and aggressive of places. I know that I can't think of Newcastle without thinking of the match where they beat us 5-1, where they were already relegated. I can't, you know what I mean? Like that just pops into my mind every single time I think of Newcastle, and also the speed with which they have like blitzed us with at times. So you're right. Very good point about VDV being in there. He's going to save us from that type of thing, hopefully. And if VDV doesn't play, then Ange has to drop the line back a bit. He has to, you know, because we know Jagishin doesn't have that pace. So, and I guess that's another question. Sorry, I keep adding things. I'm like, oh, I'm going to end it. Here's another question. Do you think that we would drop the line back a bit if VDV doesn't play, or do you think that Ange is going to just gung ho my way or the highway, which is
realistically, you would think yes, he would drop the line back because I mean Romero isn't slow and Dragusin isn't slow, right? They're fairly quick for centre halves, but they're not Van der Ven quick, right? Nobody is. So with having Van der Ven in the team playing such a high line, as soon as that ball comes over the top, I mean, a player might initially get the run on Van der Ven, but as soon as that man starts opening his legs, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter who you are, he's getting you. That's not going to happen with Dragusin and Romero. They might be able to catch the guy depending on who it is, but they're never going to eat up the ground like Van der Ven. So if he isn't playing, that line needs to drop by at least 10 yards, at least. That gap needs to be closed down between them and the goalkeepers. So if that ball does come over the top, Vicario's got a chance to get out. As long as he's read the ball, he gets the chance to get out and clean that up.
Definitely. Very good points. I love listening to you talk, man. You talk sense in a world where not a lot of people do. But look at Lee Smithy's comment here. I love this. They have Isak and we've got Solanke. So Tottenham 5-0. Boom. I love it. Absolutely
Love it.
And then Roundtable Talk says that he's got them both. He's got us both in his fantasy team, I think, and he says he hopes it's a 6-4 for Tottenham. Good stuff. Daniel Coy says he's going for a nervous 2-1 Tottenham win. Love it. And then Johnny Bethnal Green says it's only Newcastle for fuck's sake. Spurs win 4-2. Hell yeah! I wish we didn't concede 2 goals in this scenario. But hey, what would a Spurs match be without a little bit of like fright and fast heartbeat and everybody take your blood pressure medication. I think it's going to be one of those matches. So yeah, Soren's got one in here. 3-1 Spurs. Soren, I hope you got everything fixed yesterday, buddy. I'll message you after the show. Good to see you.
Big up, Soren.
Soren's good.
I'm loving Soren in the chats, in the group chats.
Me too. And I just can't wait for this shit to blow over. I guess all it will take is a couple good Spurs results. Like, let's be honest. Like, AJ, a couple good results. We beat Newcastle convincingly. We beat Arsenal. However, I don't even care if it's convincingly or not. And I think everybody's back on the same page again. I think that's all it's going to take. And I know that I say that's all it's going to take. Like, that's easy. Like, like beating 2 great teams is easy. But I mean, shit, it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
You would like to think so, but something we have to remember, something that's important to remember is if that does happen, if say we beat Newcastle and say we get a draw or we beat Arsenal, however that comes out, as long as we don't lose, if we go for our next 2 games and we don't lose, whilst everyone should be happy with the progress and how we're doing, and now we've played 2 other teams that are reasonable quality, and we've held ours, and we've done well. It doesn't then mean that you still can't critique. Okay, so this is where I was talking about, and we were talking about being overly positive. If the results are going our way and we're getting wins, it then doesn't mean that you can't criticize the mistakes or the poor performances. Say Basuma has a bad match, but we still win. If we win 2-1 and he's had a bad match, say he's given the ball away, they've capitalized on that and scored. Just because we're winning and doing well, it doesn't mean you can paper over the problems. Yeah, you don't ignore what's going wrong. You don't ignore the mistakes, because you have to acknowledge the mistakes in order to iron them out and progress even further.
It's sort of like that Champions League season where we progressed really far in the Champions League, and it kind of papered over the fact that our league form was so shit and we looked terrible in the league. So yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, and that phrase that you use, papering over the cracks, is exactly what I would have said too.
Absolutely, it's about being balanced, and you can criticize where criticism is due, and you praise where it's due. Yeah, if a player plays out of their skin and performs, it doesn't really matter who it's against. If your striker scores 3 goals in a game, it really doesn't matter who you're against. They've scored 3 goals. You're playing at the elite level. You're playing in the Premier League. There are no easy games in the Premier League. You score 3 goals, it doesn't really matter who it's against. Well done, mate. Great performance. If your defenders keep a clean sheet, which we know for Spurs have been very difficult to do of late, that needs to be praised, right? You don't just, because clean sheets for us don't come along all the time. So you have to be able to go, actually, guys, well done, good performance. Yes.
But if it's the opposite, you have to say, yeah.
It wasn't against one of the better teams in the league, but the fact is, it still was a clean sheet. You know, would it be a clean sheet if it was Newcastle or Liverpool or Arsenal? Possibly not. But you have to start somewhere, right? You have to have foundations on which to build. So remember, even if things are going great, you can still be critical, and even if things are going terribly, you can still be positive.
Both are true. That is it. I think that's what we were trying to say earlier. I think the word toxic fucked it up, but yeah, that is exactly what I think as well, man. 100%. If you guys can't tell, AJ and I talk quite a bit off the stream, so that's why a lot of our things seem to align. But yeah, AJ, I appreciate it. One last thing I wanted to say to everybody too. I keep saying one last thing and then I keep going, so sorry about that, everyone. But AJ and I talked about this, and I worked in the news for like 10 years. That's what I did out of college. I worked for a TV station, and I worked like with the writers and the directors. And I'll tell you firsthand, and everybody knows that negativity sells. Negativity will get you more attention than positivity. You know, we would have, you know, I'll tell you a funny story that's not football related. But my first day on the job, a kid had drowned. And the writers in the writers' room were literally running around going, "We got one, we got a story. Get that kid's parents on the phone for an interview." And I'm like, "Holy shit, he died like an hour ago." You know what I mean? But these lunatics were all about the views and the numbers and stuff. And so I just want to say, don't get sucked into that. It happens here too. It happens with Spurs. You just got to protect yourself. Don't get too sucked into the doom and gloom. Even if things aren't going great, you know, life is hard enough. You really just protect yourselves, everybody. That's all I want to say. Man, just take care of yourself and your mental health. It's not worth going crazy over Tottenham. But yeah, that's my final piece. Anything to add in that AJ? Oh well, shit.
No,
I also want to say hi to Kate. Kate's here.
Hi, Kate. That's what I was going to say. We're talking about positivity. It's big time Kate in the chat. I love Kate. Kate and Jim are 2 of the most amazing people that I know. Like, they are both absolutely amazing.
I'm gonna get their link in the chat too.
But with the whole negativity you were talking about, I've lost my train of thought.
Oh no!
This is what happens. Kissing ass, right? Saying about Kate and Jim kissing ass. Now I've absolutely forgotten what I was going to say. But yeah, negative, like bad news sells. Yeah, that's why people used to buy. I mean, people don't really buy newspapers in this day and age, but that's why people bought newspapers, because you see these terrible headlines splashed over the front page, and you're like, oh my god, what's happening? And this is why people tune into the news, and this is why people watch reality TV, or as I like to call it, car crash TV, because there's something going to go wrong. There's going to be something terrible. It's going to be people at each other's throats, and that's why people tune in. That's what happens. So when people are being nice and friendly and cordial and respectful, that's nice, but nobody wants to see that. They want to see us tearing lumps out of each other. They want to see us screaming in each other's faces, because that is how you get the clicks and the views, and that's the way of life. as human beings, we want chaos. Yeah, we want drama, and people tune in for that.
Yeah,
It's just the way it is.
It goes back to like Roman times when they would watch, people get eaten by lions and shit. I mean, it's just you're right. It is ingrained in people. I don't understand the human mind. I don't claim to be a scientist or a doctor, but yeah, I agree with you completely. So yeah, everybody just try to stay on the bright side of things. Life is hard enough as it is. And stick together. And also, if you think that shirt's hilarious, because I sure do, you can grab that. I kind of remade a classic image with some modern people in there. We got Cootie and we got Cucurella. He's not grabbing him by the hair in the photo, but still, I think it's pretty funny. So if you want that, I can post a link to that. But I'm also taking requests, and I'll make anybody any kind of shirt they would like. I enjoy doing it. So yeah, guys. Anyway, thanks again to everybody. Let's actually end it this time, AJ. But yeah, everybody, thank you so much. Ben, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Jacob, I saw you saying that it was a great chat. I appreciate you, and great guest. Absolutely, AJ fucking rules. So yeah, guys, let me hide this shit. Everybody, have a wonderful day. Be good to yourself and be good to everybody around you. It all comes around in circles. I mean, if you're nice to other people, they'll be nice to you. Your life will be better. Just be nice to yourself, to everybody else, to animals, shit, to everybody. And that's what I'm going to close out with. And also, let's all support Spurs, and of course, in our own way. But just make sure that the way you support Spurs doesn't infringe on the way that other people do. Don't shit on other people to do your thing. And then I'll let you have your closing thoughts, AJ.
No, I was just going to say it's a beautiful day, sunshine and birds singing. Enjoy the good things in life, yeah, because there are so many serious, miserable things that happen in our life, right? They're just things that we can't escape. So enjoy the good things. Take all the good moments, hold on to them, enjoy them, and focus on the positives. The negatives will come along, they'll always be there, but just enjoy the good things, make the most of it, be happy, smile, and even clap at the same time. It's absolutely fine.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Yeah, guys, watch the space. There's a debate show later I kind of want to go on, and if I do, I'll put it in my community thing so everyone knows to come watch me get roasted. So that might happen today. But everybody, yeah, like AJ said, enjoy the day, have a great one. And we're halfway through the week. Week's almost over. We're almost to the weekend, guys. Real quick, and then we got Jamie saying he's going 3-1 Spurs, Kulu double. From your lips to God's ears, my man. All right. But hey, you guys mind? Anybody mind if I play us out with the Keeper West Ham? With the Keeper West Ham theme? You mind, AJ?
No, go for it, buddy.
Let's do it. All right. See you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. And AJ, hang back with me for a second if you're cool.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Later, everyone. Big love. I love all of you guys. Thanks for not unsubscribing. I know this show is kind of a shit show. Bye.